NEPM's podcasts are funded by Armbrook Village, offering research-based arts, music, fitness, and lifelong learning programs at their assisted living and Alzheimer's care community in Westfield. armbrookvillage.com.
Welcome to the Fabulous 413. I'm Khalees Smith.
And I'm Monty Belmonte. Later in the show, some of our less wet shenanigans from this past weekend's Green River Festival as we share our tiny, super fun, but very crowded pop-up with Philadelphia's Snacktime.
Maybe we'll get into our favorite acts we saw at the fairgrounds as well. Plus, we'll head to the Berkshires, where the pizzas roam in abundance, to have a pizza quest at Roberto's. But first...
Making old man noises over here.
Oh, man.
I woke up from the music festival, my back hurting. I'm like, oh, it's from standing for so long. I am an old man.
To boldly go where no man has gone before.
Hampshire College astronomer Dr. Salman Hamid, Mr. Universe. We're not going to talk about Hampshire College and all of its current troubles right now, because most of your time is spent teaching Pakistani folks about our cosmos with your series called Kainat, which this is kind of a part of, an English-speaking part of, not the Urdu part of it. And we're not going to talk about music festivals, although I'd love to, because you're going to be at Solid Sound, at least on Saturday.
Solid Sound Festival on this coming weekend. I will be there on Saturday.
If you won't be there on Friday, you can listen to the Wilco and Jason Isbell concert on 88.5.
I can say that's what I'll be doing, but probably not, because it's Friday night. Hey, honesty is part of the thing here.
It's science.
It's science, but I would be loving to hear Wilco live. I think I've heard them, probably have been to 10, 15 concerts, and absolutely love it. Of course, others as well, but Wilco's the main attraction.
And it's going to be great. We're really excited about it, and you're really excited about something the James Webb Space Telescope has seen, the farthest known galaxy yet.
Right, and so, first of all, this is the current record holder. This record is going to be broken. Mm-hmm. We are going to find galaxies that are farther away than that. So that's part one. Part two, no, this does not mean that the Big Bang or whatever didn't happen or any kind of sensational things. What it does mean is this is really interesting and it is unexpected. And astronomers are figuring out that they have started to find galaxies that exist of only a few 100 million years after the Big Bang. And Big Bang happened 13.8 billion years ago. So this particular galaxy, the current record holder, existed 13.5 billion years ago.
So that's crazy close to the Big Bang in astronomical terms. It's still millions of years after the Big Bang, but...
Yeah, so you have to figure out. So there are a couple of things. One is this particular galaxy, since right now it's the current record holder, I'm sure you want to impress your friends with it. And you go like, oh yeah, I know Jades-GS-Z14.0-0 galaxy. That's the name of the galaxy.
They can't come up with something better than that?
No, the reason is because this is a particular survey, which is the JADE survey, which is done with James Webb Space Telescope. It's a beautiful image of the whole part of the sky, which is very tiny. It's like much smaller than the full moon. I think it's quarter of the full moon. And that's where James Webb Space Telescope stared for a long time, and it gathered light from it. And within it, a very tiny speck is this galaxy. So I can show you Monty here, and of course...
And you can see too, listener, in your
course.
Imagination.
On the radio, you cannot see it. So you have an image which has a lot of little smudges. Each of those smudge is pretty much a galaxy, and each galaxy contains a few 100 billion stars. But the farther you look back, those galaxies look more and more weird, anomalous, because they haven't taken the full shape yet. And they are also smaller in size, generally. So this particular one, which actually is highlighted on the James Webb Space Telescope site. Mm-hmm. You can find it. You can just search for JADES 14-0. You can find that. And what's interesting is that this particular galaxy is not just a point source or a dot, which some of these other galaxies had been so far, some of the farthest ones. In fact, you can actually see it elongated, just like other galaxies.
Like a spiral galaxy like the Milky Way?
It's not yet spiral, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, it's a spiral galaxy like
we're looking at it so long ago, it hasn't become the galaxy it will become that we would see millions or billions of years from now.
That's exactly right. So we are looking back in time. We are looking at a galaxy how it was 13.5 billion years ago. Today, what it would be? Well, it would be something big, something different. But we are looking at it in its baby form, right? And that's how we try to figure out our past. And the reason why we are interested in our past is because it tells us about our own beginnings to a certain degree. So this particular galaxy has this elongation, which is about 1600 light years across, which is actually small because our Milky Way galaxy is about 100,000 light years across. But still, this is only a few 100 million years after the Big Bang. In fact, 290 or roughly 300 million years after the Big Bang. We are talking about some of the first galaxies here. But what the surprise has been, as we have talked about earlier on, there have been surprising galaxies right in the beginning, and the question was like, well, how are they so big and so on and so forth? Well, first of all, we have confirmed distance to this galaxy. And what that means is that astronomers have broken down its light into what's called a spectrum. This is the same thing as if you look at a prism, like, when you break up the light. They've been able to break down that light into its spectrum, and that gives us specific distance indicators. And that's how we know it is that far. And it tells us a little bit about what it is made up of.
Because with the colors that come with the gases, it'll tell you what specific types of gases are out there, even that far away.
And one of the things that is surprising in there is a particular form of what is called ionized oxygen. There is hydrogen and helium in there. There's hydrogen that has been detected, definitely, but there is also ionized oxygen. And the surprise is because oxygen is produced inside stars. So when Big Bang happened, you only had hydrogen, helium, a little bit of lithium. But if you are going to form what astronomers call heavy metals, yeah.
Like Wilco. Oh, no, wait, they just have heavy metal drummer.
That's right.
Yeah.
Then you need to have stars process hydrogen and helium into other elements. And then those stars have to die in order to spread out in the galaxy.
We're made of star stuff.
That's exactly
because all of
right.
those stars died. We live.
What this means is that even though this galaxy exists only 300 million years after the Big Bang, that's a very short time. Just remember, even our sun is 4.5 billion years old. Like only 300 million years after the Big Bang, already some stars were born and some stars died. Inside of them, some oxygen was produced and it got spread out, and now we are detecting it in this galaxy. How did this happen? We don't know, right? And that's it's interesting and exciting for astronomers, because now the question comes in, wait a minute, a lot of our models, because in astronomy, especially when you are looking at some of the earliest galaxies, you have to figure out, you have to guess a lot of things. And by guess, it doesn't mean, hey, I think the galaxy is going to be like this, but rather there are certain models that you fit. You try to see, okay, well, this is how galaxies might have evolved. But we did not expect such a galaxy such earlier on, where you have a lot of stars, but we already have a generation of stars that have passed. And so that's a puzzle. Astronomers will have to revise these models and they will have to figure it out. Well, it's one of those things. It did happen. Now we have to figure out how it happened. Our models can be wrong, but that's the universe you have. You don't go like, the universe better change. No, universe cannot change. This is what we observe. It's the models that change. And this is where we are also pretty sure, because this is just one deep image from James Webb Space Telescope. We know there are going to be other galaxies that are going to be found, because this is a very tiny fraction of the sky that this galaxy was detected. So if you can find this in such a tiny portion of the sky, that means there are a lot more galaxies like that. There are a lot more galaxies that would be perhaps even a little bit farther away than that as well.
Well, that's what's so fun about the Hubble Deep Field image. It opened up this whole can of worms of galaxies, essentially, and when what we thought might have been just empty sky was riddled with galaxies. What's fun about this one, that the Jades, which sounds like a kung fu gang from a Wu-Tang Clan movie or something like that.
We saw them practicing with each other. Their kung fu is first class.
is that there was a galaxy in front of it that was blocking it. That's so that they had to spend 5 days to try to look around the galaxy blocking the way from this galaxy that is from only 300 million years after the Big Bang.
I'm going to come back to it 1 second, but let me just mention that Hubble Extreme Deep Field
Yeah.
is actually part of this image too.
Oh, cool.
Because they are building up on the Hubble Deep Field because there is a lot of work and there are a lot of interesting targets that were identified from there.
And Hubble uses a different part of the light spectrum too, right?
That's exactly right. So James Webb Space Telescope was explicitly designed to look farther away than Hubble because of expansion of the universe. The light stretches out, it goes into the infrared, and James Webb Space Telescope works in the infrared. So by the way, when we are talking about all these images, well, this is not what I will see. This is in the infrared, and we give artificial colors to that. But JADES, by the way, stands for JWST, Advanced Deep Extragalactic Survey.
I like it better as a kung fu gag. It's gonna tear down the other rival schools.
It's our secret. Never teach the Wu-Tang.
But out of all that, this, I think, perhaps was my favorite part of the story, that when astronomers, the group that was leading this, when they looked at this galaxy, they actually were puzzled because there were two galaxies close together. And they were confused by the distances because the galaxy looked like one of the galaxies, there's two very close together, relatively close by. And by relatively, it's still quite far, but not the farthest galaxy. But then there was this protrusion, another part of it that looked like, well, it doesn't look like at the same distance. And this is where distances become so important in astronomy, because all you are seeing is this image. It's a two-dimensional image in certain ways when you look at the picture. And you don't know if these two galaxies are actually interacting with each other. They could be. There are a lot of interacting galaxies. The galaxies collide. Eventually, Andromeda and Milky Way galaxy are going to collide too. So we do have examples where galaxies collide. So it's possible that you are seeing these two galaxies' actual collision, or this just happens to be a coincidence and you have this foreground galaxy, a bug or whatever in your windshield when you are looking at this beautiful sunset farther away and you're trying to take a picture. And when you take a picture, there is this thing that's in front of your, beautiful sunset. And it turns out that indeed this was a bug. And look, no disrespect to people and civilizations that inhabit this particular galaxy. I'm sure that galaxy is very nice, and I'm sure the civilizations in there, the life in there may be very nice too. But for us, it's just in between. And so then astronomers they spent 5 days, full days, where James Webb Space Telescope just stared at this particular part, like these two galaxies, and especially the one that looked farther away, to isolate its light and figure out, oh yeah, that galaxy is actually far, far, far away, and it just happens to be a coincidence where another foreground galaxy is blocking some of its way.
If we can see back to 300 million years after the Big Bang, like this oldest known galaxy so far,
13.5 billion, meaning to say that the light, when we are seeing this, with all this foreground, when we see this smudge, we are seeing the smudge when its light started.
13.5 billion years ago.
13.5 billion years ago. There was no sun. There was no earth. In fact, sun was like way, 10 billion years later sun formed. So yeah, and that's how we are seeing it right now. The light is just getting to us.
Will we ever see the Big Bang if we look far enough away?
No. And the reason is because there is a word that you use to a certain sense, and that was, will we ever see? And so how do you see it? And so the problem is that the farthest we can see right now, and again, so I would put it in quotes, see, that is what is called the cosmic microwave background radiation, and which is basically the first time light was able to flow freely in the universe, and that was a few 100,000 years after the Big Bang. So that's how far we think we can see with light. And the reason is before that, the universe was opaque. So it's the same thing if you look at the sun. Sun is made up of plasma, but you look at what you call the surface of the sun. Well, all the light that you are seeing from the surface of the sun is from where it becomes less opaque. Behind that, it's just opaque because the light cannot escape from it. The density is so high that even the light photons hit each other. But at the photosphere, or at the sort of like the surface, what we would call, that's where the light starts to flow. We can see it and it comes to the earth. In the same way, the universe was opaque for a few 100,000 years. And then there is a period of time, around 300,000 years after the Big Bang, where the universe became transparent enough that the photons could freely travel. And this was a big prediction of the Big Bang model. Big Bang model predicted that earlier on, if the Big Bang model is correct, universe would be very, very dense. And then as it is expanding, which we know the universe is expanding, as it is expanding, eventually the universe will have a light freely flowing through it. And that was exactly matched, that prediction, in 1965, where astronomers detected this cosmic microwave background radiation.
Which you can see on your old Rabbit television set. Is that true?
Well, that's right, because it is everywhere. I mean, every part of the universe, Monty, you and I, my atoms and your atoms were also once all together. In fact, they were not even atoms at the time. That background light is everywhere, which was part of the Big Bang and when it started to freely flowing.
So we might not ever see the Big Bang, but the Big Bang is everywhere all the time.
That is right. We are all part of the Big Bang. Yeah, that is the whole thing, that we are all part of the Big Bang. You cannot point to a direction and say, Big Bang happened there. Big Bang happened everywhere. Every single point was part of that. And so, but the farthest you can see, I get what your question is coming from, because in some ways, astronomy allows you to look in the past. And so if we can see 300 million years after the Big Bang, why cannot we see 1 minute after the Big Bang? And the reason why we cannot see 1 minute after the Big Bang is because universe was opaque. Meaning to say everything, you are just inside of it, but the light cannot escape. The photons, as soon as they start to run, they get absorbed by another element or another particle and something like that. So it does not allow it to freely flow. The first time they start to freely flow is few 100,000 years after the Big Bang. So in terms of light, there is a limit. But that prediction itself was the prediction from the Big Bang model, which was confirmed in 1965, Nobel Prize, Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson. We don't want to get into that whole sideline, but there are also particles called neutrinos, which are not light waves, but we can also detect neutrinos. We think those can escape much denser areas, so that can push it back a little. So we may be able to see conditions of what was early universe was in neutrino universe, but we haven't been able to detect that neutrino background yet.
It's all part of a neutrino breakfast. Oh no, that's nutritious. Never mind.
Lucky Charms, part of this nutritious breakfast.
There's nothing nutritious about Lucky Charms.
I know, that's the kind of nutrition I grew up learning about on television.
In theory, they're made with whole grains, but that's also questionable.
Yeah.
Later in the show, our pizza quest takes us back out to the Berkshires at a listener's suggestion to try Roberto's Pizza in Sheffield. Up next, however, we'll take you back in time to this past weekend's Green River Festival, where we hosted a pop-up big brass throwdown with Philadelphia band Snacktime.
You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM.
The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by Northeast Solar, offering solar options, energy security, and solutions for the local community. Learn more at northeast-solar.com.
Welcome back to the Fabulous 413. Khalees and I spent this whole past weekend at the Green River Festival,
where we managed to mostly avoid the torrents of rain and where we all endured the occasional shelter-in-place order.
But we did spend some time in the Youth Hall 4-H building right next to the Green River Festival history exhibit with a big, bad, bold, brassy band from Philly.
Thanks for letting me do the intro that I actually wrote for this band, because I was super psyched that they were going to play and really bummed that I didn't actually get to give them all the flowers that they deserve. So I am psyched to introduce this next band to you, and before you ask, no, I did not actually ask for every band on the lineup that has horns, but I did try. I have to leave goals for next year. But these horns, I got a taste under the tent earlier underneath all of the rain, and this is more than a treat. This is a brass section decadence. They are funk, they soul, they rock, and they sure as hell are gonna pop off. From their origins playing for free in Philly's Rittenhouse Square to Red Rocks Amphitheater, they've been impressing and dancing audiences across the country, and now, despite the rain, or in the rain, they've got a new album coming out, well, new music coming out all throughout this year. And we heard some of it earlier. It is all fantastic. We could not be more pleased to have this band here at the Green River Festival. Y'all ain't ready, but you're about to have a real good time. Horns make the happy. Help me welcome this happy to the stage, Snacktime.
I hope you guys know it's a little tight quarters, but still plenty space to dance. This first song is called Space Love. It just dropped last week on all streaming services. You'll hear it on local radio soon. Yeah. Y'all, this song's about falling in love with an alien. Have you ever fallen in love with an alien before? Yeah! So tell me how it makes you feel after this. This song's called Space
Saw something that I haven't seen. Can't move, can't breathe. Your eyes are pulling me out my seat like a tractor beam. Intergalactic romance, only seen it on the big screen. Blue hair, green skin, riding on my ship in my sleep. All the way to Mercury. Something's got me feeling, hands up to the ceiling. This is zero gravity. Body's floating from the road, my fingers to your fingers, 'cause I'm losing my humanity. Come on, let me hear you say, ooh, 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 stars now, it's astronomical. Wake up to Mars now, it's biological. In orbit up above, give me your space love, give me your space love. You came from outer space to me, did a mission to enslave my race. Invade my space. I'm trapped in love, woman that I met from above. Hands up, y'all. Something's got me feeling, got my hands up to the ceiling. We're dancing zero gravity. Body's floating from the cold, my allegiance to the fingers, my humanity. One more time. Ooh, 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 ooh. Hey, lift off, we're in the stars now, it's astronomical. Way up to Mars now, it's biological. In orbit up above, give me your space love, give me your space love. Come on, lift off, we're in the stars now, it's astronomical. Wake up to Mars now, it's biological. In orbit up above, give me your space love, give me your space love. Come on, let me see you put your hands together. Everybody, come on. Hands together, come on. Put your hands together, come on. Put your hands together, come on. Hands together, come on. Hands together, everybody. Hands together, come on. Shake your body. Hands together, come on. Hands together, let me see it. Hands together. Shake your body. Hands together. Hands together. Woo! And baby, with your love. Tell me with your love. The way you use that gun. The many things it does. And back, baby. And nothing with your love. And galaxies of love. And intergalactic love. You know I want your love. You gotta have your love. No, I need your love. Everywhere above. Come on. Come on. Come on. Woo!
Oh my God, that was amazing. How did you you were performing on streets, like, how did this band form?
This band started, we were just, waiting around during the pandemic, missing playing music with our friends, and a friend of ours asked to put some music together. We didn't have electricity, so we had to put a brass band together, and then we sort of evolved from there. Now we got guitar, we got keyboards, we got everything, so that's how we started.
So brass came first, and then everything else came on after. Were you still playing outside? With all the electrical instruments?
No, we didn't start that until a couple years later. That's when we started playing festivals and stuff, and having like live shows and recordings and stuff.
Yeah. Your originals are lovely, your covers are inspired. How do you balance the two? Because y'all were practicing like pop songs backstage when you came in hot in the rain.
Well, I think that's just the beautiful thing about what we do. We gain a lot of inspiration and we glean a lot from each other and what we can learn from each other. So I think that via learning cover songs, we were able to just form and really just mature as a band in terms of what we want our own sound to be. And eventually, just our chemistry just grew so organically to the point where we just started making up horn lines on the spot or making up little riffs and different ideas on the spot at different pop-ups and what have you. So
and you were doing it fast.
Yeah, naturally it just came to us, organically.
It helped us learn to play for the people. All of our songs that we write now, we try to make sure that we're writing for the people's enjoyment before our own.
Yeah. You did a wonderful job of that, both on the main stage and right here in this youth hall at the Green River Festival at the Franklin County Fairgrounds. And we're with Snacktime. The outfits that you're wearing, lost on the radio audience right now, are basketball jerseys that look like Philadelphia 76ers jerseys with the Snacktime logo on it.
Absolutely.
And they're for sale online.
Oh.
And at the merch table.
Purchase a jersey, y'all.
But
you can purchase a jersey.
You've played at Sixers games and stuff like that.
That's
now,
right.
too, as kids that I'm assuming that most of you are have connection to Philly in some way. Well, how does that feel to be embraced by the team there? I see somebody's got a gritty tattoo too.
That's right. That's
there
right.
We go. Oh, Snacktime.
Very great. Very great. And I know we're in Boston, right? I see Larry Bird jersey.
There's a little guy
I
here
saw
wearing
some
a Larry
Red Sox.
Bird jersey.
I saw some Red Sox hats, and just coming from Philly, we as a city like Boston and the Boston area, we stand on a lot of grit, and it's a very rugged city, rough around the edges, but we're very passionate about our sports, and we carry Philly on our sleeve. Heavy.
Literally on your sleeve with the gritty tattoo.
Absolutely.
I'll literally get any tattoo. I have a rule with my friends that if they get a matching tattoo with me, I'll do it. We have a couple. We're gonna get one soon. I'll get a matching tattoo with you anytime.
Yeah. Gritty is the mascot for the Flyers, and he's the most insane mascot in all of sports. I think he's the absolute best.
Right,
it's great. Another Philly icon.
Absolutely.
From Camden, New Jersey, on the trombone, Michael Sticky Left Stadium. From Hollywood, Florida, on the tenor sax, Benjamin Joseph Stockton. On the trumpet, Eric Sherman from Austin, New York. Y'all want to try this out real quick? In the band, we say this: if he's not shredding, that's not Larry. So if he's not shredding, that's not Larry. Larry Monroe Jr. on the guitar from North Philadelphia. Holding it down with the drums, cymbals, and the skins from down the bottom of West Philadelphia. You know him, you love him. Austin Richard Marlowe. On the percussion, on the alto sax, on the lead vocals. He's handsome. You love him. You love him so much. Mr. Yusuf Faraha Ali.
On the sousaphone. It's called a sousaphone. That's a bigger version of a tuba. That's Mr. Snacktime himself. Give it up for Sam Gellerstein, y'all.
and togetherness. This song came out in February. It's about taking care of each other. So please make sure when you leave this room, if you leave here with anything, remember, take care of each other, love each other, and hold each other very close, all right?
I see y'all grooving. Y'all can get into a nice little two-step if y'all want to. Come on. Some days we go through the fire, and some nights are cold and dark. When you feel that your good has expired, the music is a good place to start. So, if you came to party, we'll show you how. Come as you are, so we can all get down. The world is so divided, we got to unite. Peace out in the air, y'all. Good vibrations make you feel alright. If your ship is stuck in the ocean, yeah, there's no light to show you the way. Just listen up, I'll be your guide. I'll lead you to the shore. Drop on the bed, leave it all on the goddamn floor. So, if you came to party, we'll show you how. Come as you are, so we can all get down. The world is so divided, we got to unite. Peace out, one more time. Good vibrations make you feel alright. Mo on the guitar. Love is all that we ever need. Come on, one more time. Say, I got you. Say, I got you. You got me. Say, you got me. Love is all that we ever need. Come on. Say, I got you. Say, I got you. You got me. You got me. I got you. Say, I got you. You got me. You got me. I got you. Say, I got you. You got me. You got me. All that. Thank y'all so much. With Snacktime, Green River. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much.
You guys rocked it. Thanks for coming and playing.
Thank all
here
you
today.
guys. Thank you
all
so
of
much.
for coming and
Thank
hanging
y'all.
out.
Thank y'all for coming out.
It's fun to play in the studio, but it's more fun to play for y'all, so thank you so much for being here.
Thank y'all.
Thanks again for hanging out with us in Snack Time in the 4-H building at the Franklin County Fairgrounds at Green River. Later in the show, Khaleesi and I will give you a couple more of our personal highlights from last weekend, like getting to do the Mardi Gras parade with Snack Time. That was fun.
That was really fun.
They didn't know they were going to be
didn't know.
doing it, and then they found out right after our pop-up, and then I put on my weird Barbie dress, and then I ran around the whole place with
fairgrounds.
them with
Yeah.
a bunch of kids following behind.
But up next, the return of Pizza Quest. We eat some pie with a listener who thinks the best pizza in the 413 has to offer is at Roberto's in Sheffield.
You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM.
The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by the UMass 5 College Credit Union, offering co-op advantage checking with cash back on all purchases, plus secure debit card controls, all from the UMass 5 mobile banking app. Insured by NCUA, umass5.coop.
I eat antipasta twice just because she is so nice, Angelina.
Pizza Quest.
We are once again pizza questing in the Berkshires because that seems to be the only place we ever pizza quest because it's the only time we ever take time to just relax while working.
Also, I mean, it's just kind of unprecedented how much good pizza there is in the Berkshires, it turns out.
Yeah, but maybe we're not giving the other counties a fair shake, I would say. But
Okay, well.
we are here at Roberto's. Are we in Great Barrington?
No, we're in Sheffield, and we
Still
are
in Sheffield.
and we are here at the suggestion of listener Matt Chester, who joins us today.
See, we will take you with us.
Yeah.
This is true. It's not. I thought it was a ruse, but I'm actually here.
You also happened to crash when we did the Pizza Quest in Lenox, like one of the very first ones we did.
Well, it was at Boema.
Yeah.
I happened to walk by, and all of the shenanigans went down with trying to decide the fresh mozzarella versus the buffalo mozzarella.
Yeah, because one of them's using buffalo milk, so it's using fresh mozzarella.
Which is real mozzarella, and I'm
Right.
tempted to get that because that is an option.
But does that give it an unfair advantage
Yes.
over the other pizzas? Right.
But other pizza places should also have that.
But okay, if we're going to a good quality economy place around the corner, they're not going to have the money for fresh mozzarella all the time.
Right. That was some drama. Some early Pizza Quest drama. Because the Pizza Quest control is
Just straight cheese, a cheese pie, and then a pie that has pepperoni and mushroom.
But you are a big fan of a particular pizza here, so we're going to get a third pizza that will not count as part of the questing.
And that is the vodka pie here at Roberto's. It is amazing. It comes with fresh burrata in the middle that you then tear off for each slice, which I think really adds a cold and hot element to the texture and the flavor.
Now, isn't that interesting?
I'm drooling already. That's going to be delicious.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll get to it. We'll put in the order, and we'll see how it goes.
Pie number 2.
All right.
I would just use your hands.
Here come the pies. We've got the vodka pie first. The vodka pie, even though it is not part of the actual experiment, looks very good and tempting. Tony Dunn, our director, is trying to divvy it out amongst us. It's like an aperitif of pizza.
You worked so hard to get that piece of burrata.
All right, vodka pie is very good, and it's almost like bribing the judges here.
Yeah.
It's almost not fair.
We can't judge by this and how good this pie is. Fantastic.
We do tend to break the rules a little bit here and there. Last time we were in the Berkshires at UVA, we broke the rules a little bit with the...
Well, that wasn't an official judging because it was their very first day, and
day.
we were their very first customers. However, it was so freaking good.
It was amazing.
All right, woo! Disaster strikes. Tony Dunn knocking over. He's the only one at the table not drinking an alcoholic beverage.
Yeah, boom. I'm gonna have to make sure you guys get a dry slice here.
Right?
We're good.
We have moved on to the
No, there's
actual...
water on the pizza. I'll take that.
Don't worry about it. We moved on to the actual pie, though, and we've got the pepperoni with mushrooms. The pepperonis are small and cupping, and the mushrooms appear to be not canned mushrooms.
No, they are very
fresh
much
mushrooms.
They are baby bellas, according to the menu. Sorry, I have pizza in my mouth and it's hard to speak.
Matt, you work in financial planning, and
I do.
You have some Wall Street buddies who came here.
I do. So we have some guys that lived in New York and have second homes up here, and we brought them all together for one night. And I will say that they wanted to invest in the next location immediately, and it's definitely top 5 or top 3 on their list.
Even though they work in like New York City?
Even though they worked in New York City, I should say. They're retired now, but yes.
Yeah.
Big fans.
High praise for Roberto's Sheffield, this pizza quest.
Noticing the leoparding on the crust, which is something I've learned from the two of you via Mark Latanzi, right? The pizza guru.
Yeah, he's our pizza guru, our pizzaiolo. Leoparding is the spots on the bottom of the crust.
Well, also, like, the crust is a lot more structured, so we've got like a lower temperatured oven pizza staying in a little bit longer, because we've been going to a lot of Neapolitan places where you've got blazing hot heat. It's only in there for like a minute and a half, and then it comes like right out. So this has a little bit more time in the oven. We've got like it's not, it doesn't make it like crunchy, but it's just structured, which makes it a little bit easier to eat sometimes.
Yeah. It's also very lightly cheesed with the pepperoni and mushroom one. The pepperoni is good and spicy. When the sauce is not overly sweet, the sauce is not too in your face, it's very nice.
The sauce is the right sauce, and if I'm not mistaken, I'm betting it is just tomatoes, olive oil, and salt, the way it's supposed to be.
Mushrooms.
They're fresh and good.
They are. Yep.
I'm pretty sure the oven, just so we know, last I checked was 800 degrees.
Neapolitan ovens will usually be around like 950, 1,000 degrees. So we're running a little bit lower temperature, so you can leave it in there a little bit longer and get a crust that stands up just a little bit better.
Also, it's a pretty small restaurant, Roberto's here in Sheffield, and it's Tom Petty in the front, reggaeton in the back.
It's a beautiful mashup, and I kind of wish that we could actually get someone to make this really happen for real.
Okay, Cleese, you're eating the cheese stands alone pizza.
No, I ate that one already. You guys ate the pepperoni first. I went for the cheese first, so that after the vodka, I got the purest form of the pizza. So now I'm traipsing through Pepperoniville.
Well, we'll just clarify that it was vodka pizza, not actual vodka. Tony, you were making an observation about the Berkshire.
The amount of quality pizza establishments in the Berkshires per capita seems to be quite high.
And you have a theory as to why?
Well, I think we all have the same theory, which is there are a lot of New Yorkers, especially in the southern Berkshires, second homeowners and transplants and things. That's probably the influence.
But interestingly, you guys haven't gone to, my understanding, the only coal-fired oven in Berkshire County, Eastside Cafe.
What? All right.
We told about it.
All
They
right.
were closed when we tried to go the last time.
Okay, yeah, right. All right, well, we got to go there because coal-fired...
Coal-fired is New Haven style, which of course is the best pizza.
And New York is mad because New Haven declared itself the pizza capital of the United States just in the last couple months, so they're throwing down. But I can't disagree with that.
I can't disagree with that either.
Yeah. New Haven pizza is the best pizza. I love you, Connecticut listeners who listen and support that fabulous 413, even though we never talk about you.
We talked about them once.
Let's think of how many pizza places we've been to that we can remember.
Okay, so we started at Bread Bros
In Springfield.
We went to Europa in Springfield. We went to Joe's in Northampton. We've been to Magpie in Greenfield. We've been to Bohema in Lenox. Uva in Great Barrington.
Berkshire Mountain
Mountain Pizza.
Pittsfield.
We went to what's the pizza shack? Something fun pizza.
Oh, Betty's Pizza Shack in Lenox.
I think that's it.
And
It's
now
not 7 or 8, because it's been like 7 or 8. Yeah.
And now Roberto's here in Sheffield. We had already discussed when we went to Uva that we know Bohema and Magpie were kind of like duking it out for like maybe tip top there. And then Uva, out of nowhere, on its first day, enters the medal pedestal there in the gold, silver, bronze, at least in some incarnation.
Technically, we were not counting them because it was their first day. They had just opened, and we're like, that's not fair.
Yeah. They could get much better or much worse.
But for that pie that day we had, it's definitely one of the best 3 pies that we've had.
So where does Roberto's in Sheffield fall?
I mean, it's way up there. This is real good pizza.
We have to make room for more medals. Not to be so Northampton about it, where everybody gets a medal, but
Not everybody's getting medals in this.
Roberto's gets a participation trophy?
No.
I think
Red Rose gets a participation trophy.
We're not allowed. They're down the street. We can't say that.
Come at me, bro.
Oh my goodness. But no, I think Roberto's is absolutely in the top 3. I'm just trying to figure out where in the top 3
gets bumped?
it is.
So, Uva and Bohema, to me, seemed a little similar in terms of the lightness of the crust. This is a firmer crust.
Yeah, Uva's crust was like eating a cloud.
I know. It was so it was amazing. I don't really know how they got that consistency, but I'm going to keep saying this. Uva technically doesn't count for the top 3.
Okay, good. Because I don't want to bump Bohema because Mary Dare's sister, Mary Dare, who we drink wine with all the time, sister owns it, and that would feel sad. And I don't want to bump Magpie because Evelyn, who owns Magpie, employs my son at her other restaurant, Harvey's. So I'm conflicted here. I may need to recuse myself, unlike our Supreme Court justice.
We can't be doing this on connections. We're supposed to be doing it on the taste of the pies. That said, again, we agreed when we went to Uva that we weren't ranking them. Just because they happen to knock it out of the park, as I said during that time, they're not technically part of the ranking. They're just real good. All right. I don't know how they do that with their crust. None of us do. It does actually taste like bread clouds. Go try it yourself.
They exist on a plane all of their own right
Seriously.
now. So Bohema, Magpie, and Roberto's are in the top 3.
Yeah.
If you have a Pizza Quest suggestion, let us know where the best pizza in the 413 is at thefab413@nepm.org. And we may invite you out to pizza with us like we did with you, Matt. Thank you so much for...
You're welcome. Happy to do it anytime.
We even paid.
And we paid for this pizza, so there you go.
Any way you slice it.
Up next, some of our favorite moments from this past weekend on the Franklin County Fairgrounds at the Green River Festival.
You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM. Welcome back to the Fabulous 413. I'm Monty Belmonte.
And I'm Khalees Smith. And this past weekend at the Green River Festival was super fun, even if it was wicked wet. And the weather was some of the worst I'd ever seen at the festival, honestly.
2 shelters in places, which was unprecedented.
Yes.
When there's a lightning strike within 8 miles of the festival, you must take cover for 30 minutes. And every time there was another one, you had to take cover for 30 more minutes. So that was a tiny bit of a bummer, although I had a great time wherever we were sheltering in place.
Yes.
We won't brag, but it was fun.
We won't. Yes, I bring board games with me, so we're always entertained.
Yes.
But we did manage to see a bunch of really cool things, including one surprise for me was the band that we're listening to right now, Bermuda Search Party, whose first set they were playing. They were playing 2 sets on Friday, but the first one got rained out, and they had a later set that I got to intro later that evening, and they were awesome.
Yeah, I got to see that late night set too. A band I didn't know anything about, and they were really super, super fun. Brassy, which is I know totally your.
Horns make the happy.
Yeah, that's
always,
true.
always.
There were so many great bands, and some of them I knew were going to be great bands. But I think that the standout thing to me was going to a square dance in a round house.
I was going to mention this.
At 11 o'clock at night with Willie Carlisle, the country singer who's been on this show, called a square dance, and Twisted Pine, who was also on the show, played the music for it. It was really, really, really fun.
I mean, I gotta say that I think that Willie Carlisle and Twisted Pine were the general MVPs of the festival, just because like Twisted Pine showed up a whole bunch of places and just like sat in, including that square dance that they'd only found out about like 3 days before.
Yeah.
Willie Carlisle played in the shelters, and like it was so cool.
Yeah. Of course, though, this band, Son No Rompe Pera, that you did the intro in Spanish.
And English, yeah. It was fun.
So much fun. I was in a mosh pit for the first time since the 90s. So we're going to talk to Michi Wianco from Antenna Cloud Farm tomorrow. We'll see ya.
New England Public Media is funded by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Coming up next on All Things Considered, fewer than 12,000 votes separated Joe Biden and Donald Trump when they last shared a ballot in Georgia. They'll share a debate stage this week in Atlanta as they fight for voters who could swing the election. On the second anniversary of the decision that overturned Roe v. Wade, the number of abortions is up, and medication abortions are more than 60% of abortions. NPR is remembering people who have died because of climate-related extreme weather, including a 29-year-old roofer named Wilma Vasquez in South Florida. Tonight's seventh and deciding game of hockey's Stanley Cup Final should be a thrilling end to a great series. The Florida Panthers won the first 3 games, and the Edmonton Oilers won the next 3. And musician and composer Amin Mokhtar talks about his album The Curve, which he composed while living under ISIS occupation. These and other stories are ahead on NEPM WFCR, 88.5 FM and HD Amherst, WNNZ 640 AM Westfield, streaming at nepm.org, NPR News and Local Perspective for Western Mass. All Things Considered is funded by Munson Savings Bank, helping customers, businesses, and communities for over 150 years. MunsonSavings.bank, member FDIC. It's 4 o'clock.